Hi, I'm Jeff and welcome to my home gym. So this is in my currently unfinished basement, and the plan is to start finishing the basement one section at a time, beginning here with the gym and then the wine cellar that's going to be immediately adjacent. My shop, wood shop, is back there in that corner. I did that first, and then behind the camera and around that way is going to be a finished area for entertainment with a bar, etc. So I don't know whether this is going to be a multi-part series or I'm just going to make a big video. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out at the end. But I've already started putting some insulation on the walls. The insulation system is going to be in two parts. So I put a 1-inch foam on that acts as both insulation as well as a vapor barrier that is adhered directly to the concrete. So most of this is below grade. I'll probably discuss that a little bit more as we go along. I have to finish putting that all the way around the walls, all the way up to the top, leaving a gap at the bottom, because should any condensation occur, I want that to get down to the bottom and get into the French drain system that runs all the way around the outside so the water can get into the sump pump and get pumped out. In front of that is going to be a stud wall with a little bit of an air gap for additional insulation, and then there's going to be fiberglass batting inside of those walls. So I'm going to have to figure out the wiring plan, how I'm going to do the drywall on the ceiling, the lighting, etc. So I got a lot of work to do here. Hopefully it'll be a fun project, and at the end I'm going to have a beautiful space to work out in instead of this sort of dungeony area that I have now. So please enjoy, and thanks for watching.
Oh yeah. Gotta get on up. Gotta get up, gonna bounce your butt. Gotta get on up.
So here I'm using construction adhesive to apply the 1-inch rigid foam insulation to the walls. They basically get glued right against the concrete. You have to put the adhesive on thick enough to make up for any bumps and irregularities in the wall. Once they're up, they just get propped in place with some dimensional lumber that holds it while that glue cures.
Get up, gonna bounce your butt.
Here I'm applying tape to seal all of the joints. So each sheet of foam itself is a vapor barrier because it has a membrane on both sides and it's closed cell foam. Taping the seams make the entire system a continuous vapor barrier.
So I managed to get the rigid foam up in the entire gym section, so 8-foot pieces and then a little bit along the top. All of the seams have been taped. So the next thing to do is I'm going to go in the place where I couldn't get foam and put a little bit of spray foam. Also anywhere I wasn't able to get a good seal. This will then be ready to frame, and in the framing is going to go additional insulation as well as fire break along the top. And occasionally along the length as well. So make sure you follow whatever your local code is. So let me just give you sort of a quick spin around the room so you can see what this looks like. And I apologize in advance, the lighting in here is pretty crappy at this point.
Okay, so this space now is completely done with the foam sheet insulation on the walls. It's all cleaned up, taped, sealed, and I filled in all the gaps with expanding foam. So I'm ready to start framing this wall. I would prefer to come out a ½ inch to maybe an inch from this insulation with the framed wall. However, I have this plumbing up here which sticks out past that foam by about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So I'm going to take that into account. I'm going to come out enough that I'm just sort of back against that. So my plan is I'm going to use this beam up here as a reference. So that should be parallel to that wall. So if I make everything parallel or perpendicular to this, I should be nice and square. So let me change the camera location and show you how I intend to do that. Okay, so I'm set up here. I have a laser that is running right along this steel beam. I've got that set so it's a perfectly even increment all the way across. So what I'm going to do is that comes all the way down across the floor. And from the floor, I'm going to use a tape measure. I'm going to measure across to the foam insulation on the wall over here on the left. I'm going to choose my offset, make that consistent along the way so that there's enough space for this wall. I'm going to make some marks and then I will move the laser to that. Conversely, you could just use a chalk line, but since I have the laser, that's going to make this pretty straightforward and simple. The trick is to just not move it, but I will have those marks that I'm going to leave here momentarily. Okay, so as I turn the corner here, marking the distance out here, I measured out. I got a good mark from that pipe, so that I've got enough clearance there. And then I marked back with the laser. And then switch across here. I got my 90 running down the original reference beam here. And then with a 90 across there, I got that to line up with my mark. So now I'm going to use this to mark all across this length, and then that is going to be the outside edge of the top plate of this stud wall here.